What's up, everybody? I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. I'm Anthony. On today's video, we're going to be doing another honest review. This time we're going to be doing it on the Meat 10 Tray Dehydrator. Stay tuned. That's right, you heard me correctly. Today we're going to be doing another honest review. As you know from watching my channel in the past, I know you have, that every single honest review that I've done has been with my own money. No one is reimbursing me. The companies don't even know I'm actually doing the reviews on the products. This is basically some random guy going out online or to a store, finding something he likes, buying it, and doing his own review. That way he can show y'all an honest, no-nonsense review of the product because I'm not being backed by any money. Behind me on this side is two types of dehydrators that I've been using for the last 10 years. This Nesco has been doing great since 2012 or 13 when I bought it. I've used this thing quite a bit over the years and it hasn't let me down yet. Also, you might remember I built this solar dehydrator about a year, maybe 2 years ago, so I could do some sort of passive dehydrating on a lot of herbs. It works extremely well for that. If you haven't seen that video, I will put it up here. Now, I know those other units are nice. They serve their purpose, but I wanted to upgrade and I wanted something that can do literally everything I throw at it. So I went ahead and bought this, the 10 Tray Meat Dehydrator. Now, the reason behind buying this, I'm not even gonna lie, was because I wanted to be able to do things like jerky quickly. That was the whole reason why I got it. I'm not disappointed. I'm just going to go ahead and spoil that for you. But just like every other honest review, I'm going to do 5 pros and 5 cons of this dehydrator. That way you know what you're getting before you buy it. Number one thing that I like is the fact that it is a timed unit. It starts at 10 hours. You can go up to 30 and you can go down to 1, but the reason why it is so important to me is the fact that I can set a timer and there's an automatic shut off, so I can literally set this thing, go to bed, and wake up to dehydrated goodness. The number 2 thing that I like about this unit is the fact that it has a rear mounted fan. Unlike the Nesco, which brings everything from the bottom to the top, you're going to get uneven drying that way. Obviously the top layer is going to get dry the fastest, and the bottom layer you're going to have to keep rotating trays. Since this thing has a rear mounted fan, all the trays dry evenly, so there's no more trading out trays to make sure that they are the same dryness. They all dry the same way, and I've tested this multiple times from things like onions to things like jerky. It absolutely works. They dry evenly. That moves me to number 3, and that is going to be space. Look how much volume you have within this dehydrator. Each tray is about 225 square inches of drying space. So you have 10 trays, 225 per tray. That's about 2,250 square inches of drying space. Now you can dehydrate quite a few things with that. For me personally, I've already done 5 pounds of jerky, and that only took 4 trays. So go figure, you could probably do about 10 to 12 pounds if you really wanted to, and that is amazing. That's why I bought it. Number 4, and that is going to be temperature. Now I know some of you are thinking, okay, temperature, you got a dehydrator, as long as you dry out things, you're good, right? No. You want to make sure that you are still getting things above a certain temperature to make sure they are safe, like poultry jerky. If you're making turkey jerky, you want to make sure you're still getting over 165 for that meat safety aspect, all right? Even if you are curing meats like I do, I use curing salt number 1 whenever I do any kind of jerky, but still, you want to make sure that you are doing so safely. So the Nesco only gets up to 160. As it's aged, I highly doubt that it gets up to 160 anymore, so I don't feel comfortable doing jerky in that. My solar dehydrator only gets up to about 145, maybe 150 on the hottest of July days, so I don't trust that. So I wanted to make sure I got something that got over 165. Insert this thing right here. It gets up to 167, no problem whatsoever, and it is able to hold it for well over 10 hours that I've used it for. So that's a pro in my opinion. That's why I put that as my number 4. That finally brings me to number 5. Now there's quite a few things I wanted to put here because I'm only allowed 5. I had to pick the best of those, and that is going to be pricing. All right. Now for me, I don't know about y'all, but I'm a humongous fan of making sure I get the best bang for my buck, but I don't want to cheap out and buy the cheapest thing possible. I want to make sure I'm, doing the whole buy once, cry once, and buying a quality product the first time. So when I'm looking around at some of these things, I make sure I look at quality names. So I was looking at Excalibur, I was looking at Lem, and then I came across this. Now I'm not about to pay $700 for a dehydrator from Excalibur. That's just not how the things are going to work. Okay, I don't have that kind of money, so that's why I did not buy that one. Now the same style, steel, that kind of thing from Lem is about $360. and I was really leaning forward to buying that. However, I found this one and its price is $280. Now I know what some of y'all are thinking, hey, that's still pretty expensive, and you know what, it is, but The good thing about this company is if you go on their website, meetyourmaker.com, they are regularly running deals. Now, since I've bought this around Christmas time, they've already ran 3 different deals where it gives you 10, 15, 20% off. I got this thing on Black Friday for 25% off. So in reality, a $280 dehydrator only cost me $200. For this quality that I have right here for $200, that is a darn good deal. And I want to make sure I showed y'all that pricing is extremely important to me. And if you pay attention and wait for the right deal, you can get the same quality deal yourself. Alright, so now it's everybody's favorite part, the cons list. These are some of the things that you're probably not going to be able to find on the website because they're always going to tell you the pros of the unit. Hey, we have this and this and this, and it's hey, that's all good and good and dandy, but what's the bad news? What's the cons of this product? And these are usually where you're going to have to start reading reviews or something like that. But for me, since I've had this thing for quite a while, I can tell you some of the things I don't like about it, so I made the list of 5. A lot of these are reaches because I really do like this product, but there are some things that I do not like, so I'm going to go ahead and add them in this list. And number one of the most important things I do not like is the fact that the power cord is only 3 feet long. Now, I don't know about y'all, but this thing is huge, okay? It's about the size of most microwaves. It's about 20 inches tall and about 22 inches long. My countertops with cabinets are 2 feet by 2 feet, so this thing's really taking up more space than a microwave. So if I want to put this thing on my counter, I got to move a lot of stuff around. So for me, I wanted to put this on my dining room table, but with a 3 foot long power cord, that ain't happening. So that left me with 2 options, either move my dining room table closer to an outlet or find something else to use. So I've been using a little tiny corner table that you have next to a couch to put this on by itself and put it right next to the wall. It seems to work just fine for me, but yeah, this short cord is a pain. So number 2, it's a nitpick, but I have to make sure I mention this because a lot of people ask about it, and that's going to be noise. All right, this thing is not dead quiet. This thing does have a sound of like a fan. So if that's something that you're worried about whenever you're buying it, then that's something you have to pay attention to. Now, this is with it off. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. You hear that? Now, if you have this thing in, say, your kitchen, that sound for 10 hours might get kind of annoying. Or say somewhere that you're constantly living in, especially if you have an open concept house. That sound might get kind of annoying. But if you're able to put it in, say, like a dining room or another room, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to listen to it. Everything's just fine. For me, it's in my other room. I never hear it, so I don't have the problem with it. But I know a lot of people are worried about a noise. That's the sound of it. It's not too bad, but again, listening to the same noise for 10 hours can get kind of annoying. Number 3, the dimensions of the trays. Hear me out. Whenever you're loading these trays up, they look as if they're the same dimensions, but in reality they are 15.5 by 15.75. I don't know why you couldn't make them the same, but if you don't have them just right, they're not going to fit in the slot. Watch. Oh look, it doesn't fit. I don't know why that extra 1/4 of an inch is a deal, but it's annoying whenever you load up 9 trays and you go to put them in there and you have to keep playing the turn 90-degree game for all these trays because they look really close, but it's not it. I don't know why you couldn't just make a square, 15.5 by 15.5, but whatever, that's just me. Number 4. Now, this thing comes with 10 steel trays. It also comes with 1 small little plasticky tray, so just in case you get something that's small and falls through these cracks, it won't fall through this. And it also comes with a drip tray or something you can make fruit leather on. However, the reason why this is my number 4 is because it only comes with 1 of these and 1 of these, and you can't buy more. You go on the website all you want to, it doesn't matter. They do not sell extra these or extra trays. So if you lose one, something happens to it, you damage it, or you want to buy more, you can't get them. I don't know why the company doesn't offer a chance to get more trays or these, but there's no option to be able to buy them online, and I find that pretty dumb in my opinion. And that brings me to my 5th and final con. This thing is not really a big issue for me, but I know it's going to be an issue for a lot of people out there, especially if you are on an off-grid or solar setup. This thing uses about 1,000 watts. Now I know some of you are thinking, who cares? But if you are off-grid or solar, you have to make sure you're really paying attention to how much wattage you're using. Now most microwaves use about 1,000 watts. So microwaves only go for 5 minutes at a time, maybe. This thing's going to be running for 10 hours. So 1,000 watts or 1,100 watts is a really big deal if you are on a solar setup or a battery bank. So I have to make sure I mention that as a con, because if you are on one of those systems, this might be running a little bit too much juice and you might not be able to use it. So things like the LEM use only 760 watts. This thing being 1,000 or 1,100 if it's heating up. That's kind of a big deal. Had to make sure I mention that for y'all. Alright, so there you have it. That is my list of 5 pros and 5 cons. I'm going to show you some of the things that I've actually dehydrated with this in a few pictures. Check it out. Like that. That jerky looked good, didn't it? Tastes good too. So that jerky took about 6.5 hours to do before the bend test, and then the onions took about, I don't know, 8 hours, 8.5 hours to do. So yeah, they were all pretty good. This thing works exactly as advertised. Did not have to rotate trays. Everything worked out great. So if you are looking for a good dehydrator, especially one to do things like jerky, I highly suggest picking this thing up. A lot of the cons on this list were stretches, but so there were some of the things that did annoy me. So I had to make sure I mentioned them because you're not going to find them on a website, okay? So yeah, hopefully that those cons that I did list are not enough to detract you from buying this thing. It's a really good product, and I very much appreciate the fact that I was able to get this thing quickly. When I bought it, the shipping probably was what? 7 days maybe. So that is another plus in my book, where they're able to give it to you very quickly. It's not back ordered like a lot of LEM products. So hey, thumbs up in my book. But if this video helped you at all, please do me a humongous favor and give me a thumbs up. It absolutely helps me out with the algorithm, and I would very much appreciate it. Subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one, okay?